Hello fellow tankers, this is Dauntless, and today I'm going to be playing a game in my Tier 6 Czechoslovakian medium tank, the Skoda T25. Now, I really never thought I would own this tank, but my brother owns the Tier 9 and the Tier 10 of the line, and he just is raving about them all the time. He finally convinced me to get it, so I free experience to the Tier 6 because that's what he said is the first good tank on the line. He said the Tier 5 is garbage, so had some free experience lying around from a lot of the grinding I've been doing, so I just bought this thing. And he is absolutely right. This thing is just an absolute monster. And if it's any indication to what the Tier 9 and the Tier 10 are going to be, I'm going to have a lot of fun. Because this vehicle, the Tier 6, is easily the single most overpowered Tier 6 tank in the game as of now. I didn't realize that this tank was so strong until I just played it. And this is like, I think I had like 15 or 16 games in it at this point, but I was getting quite warmed up in it and having a lot of fun. You'll notice I have a lot of APCR rounds loaded, and that's because literally every game I played in this thing was a Tier 8 game, and I was having a heck of a time penetrating Defenders and Patriots and Libertés and all that good stuff that Wargaming has been dumping into the game lately. And out of frustration, I loaded gold. And so I do have a lot of that loaded. But other than that, this was actually the first Tier 7 game I had in this vehicle, and because of that, I think that's probably why I had a really good game in it, and that's why I'm showing you what the capabilities of this vehicle really are. The map today is going to be Karelia, and as you can see, the lineups are relatively even. They have a lot of medium tanks, however, and we actually do as well, and there's only 2 heavy tanks per side, one being the TOG on their side, which I really don't want to face off, but because of that, I'm going to completely ignore the northern half of the map, and that's because a lot of red and orange players have a tendency to rush the AB line, and because of that, if I push myself down into that position, there's a good chance I could just get rolled if our team doesn't follow suit. And, you know, pushing the AB line is okay, but if tank destroyers are up there defending, it can be kind of sketchy to play. With a fast tank like the Skoda, I generally like to take the hill, but because I'm not top tier, and because they're 3 top tier, the WZ-131, the T-34-1, and the Comet are all fast tanks. If they try to take the hill, and I try to contest it, I'm going to get massacred, no questions. And I really do, emphasize staying alive as long as possible, especially when you're lower tier, to have an impact on the game. You can't really be as aggressive. If I was top tier, I'd easily try to take the hill, but not in this thing. And so I'm going to show you a tactic that I use when I'm on a lower tier on this game, or on this map. So with that being said, we'll get it started. And immediately you'll see that this vehicle is very quick. There are a lot of light tanks that would actually be jealous of this tank's speed. And you'll notice why. This thing can do like 60 kilometers an hour in a tier 6 medium tank, which is pretty darn fast if you ask me, coupled with a 3-shot autoloader that does 150 damage each, and has only like a 7-second reload per clip, and has 10 degrees of gun depression, I believe. It's a pretty good combination for a tier 6 tank if you ask me. A little bit OP. But this position right here is excellent. If you're in a tank destroyer, I highly recommend taking this position because you're far enough away with your view range that you're never going to get yourself lit unless they push really close forward, and you're going to get shots all day long. Now, the only reason I'm sniping in this tank, which is not really a sniping tank, is because I don't want to commit to the hill. We only have a couple vehicles on the hill right now, and we have 3 vehicles pushing this way, which is only like a third of our team. The majority of our team have pushed north. A lot of their team has not been lit yet, and I really don't want to be surprised by, their WZ-131 or something suddenly appearing on the hill. If I had taken the hill with these guys, I'd be in a situation where this AMX 1375 is, where I'm just kind of surrounded. I can't get off the hill, and I'm just pretty much screwed. And, it's easy for the WZ to suddenly appear here and take the hill too. You never know what's going to happen in these positions. The T-67s could also suddenly show up on the hill from the opposite side. And because of that, I'm playing really passively. Some might call me a camper or a farmer or whatever. This is just how I play my lower tiers because I really want to utilize the maximum potential of this vehicle, and I can't do it if I'm dead. So the T-34-85M is pushing up. I know that these vehicles recently were given to players, literally probably that same day I was playing, and because of that I know he probably has a pretty bad crew in it. That, coupled with the fact that he is not a very good player, means that his view range is probably not great. And because of that, I am able to sit here and take shots, even though they are relatively close to me, without really worried about being lit. But now our KV-13 is dead, and our PC is taking shots. I need to move now. And a lot of players will sit there because they have shots and they're not taking shots. They think, oh, I can still sit here to get one shot in. That's not a good idea, because if you do so, by the time you realize that you're lit and you turn around, they're going to get shots on you the entire time you're driving away, and that's just a recipe for disaster. So this T20 is taking a lot of shots, but while he's taking the aggro, I'm going to just take advantage of that and farm as much as I can. I have switched to APCR, and really, in my opinion, gold rounds, this is when you use them the most, when you absolutely need to. We are not, by any stretch of the imagination, winning this game currently, and when every shot needs to count, that's when you switch to gold. And I can afford it, I guess, for the most part. I have a premium account, I have some credits, and because of that, I just feel like it's worth it to win a game, because you just get more experience that way, and it helps the grind. And I'm a competitive person, so I do enjoy winning. So if you look at the lineup, pretty much everything but their Tog has been lit, and that pretty much indicates that the Tog is actually over on the K line somewhere, and he was probably pushing, but he was so slow that he wasn't even able to show up to the fight, because again, right now he's not lit. And okay, I was wrong. He was actually sitting on G5. And right now, I'm just kind of playing passively. I know the majority of them are going to try to take our cap, but I don't want to be too predictable about it. I realize that they're on cap, and I don't want to push forward right here, because if I do, there's a good chance that anything that might be on the hill currently, which the T-34-85M, there's a good chance he's up there, as well as a Comet could have turned around and taken the hill. Even where the T-34-85M is right now, he would be able to get shots up at me, and so I'm going to pull around this way. They don't know that I'm coming, and I have great gun depression, so I think I'm going to be able to put some good pressure on the cap. So there's 3 on cap, only 13 seconds left. I want to take this guy out because he is a top tier. I put 3 shots in, catch him on fire, and I'm reloading. I push forward, and I realize, okay, crap, he's coming at me. I should have been backing up here, but I don't. I put 2 shots into him, and unfortunately, the 3rd shot bounces. He is shooting HE at me for some reason, which is awesome. It helps me survive. I reload, bounce the 1st shot, bounce the 2nd shot, pen the 3rd shot. That's great. The cap is 2 seconds left, 1 second left. Boom. Someone resets. 3 seconds left on the cap, and Artie resets. That's awesome. Our team did awesome to pull this game back from what it was, and now I have side shots on this T1 Heavy. I'm able to put 1 shot in, and really bad marksmanship on my part there. I should have aimed at the turret, not the hull of the tank, and that's ultimately why I missed its second 2 shots, or else I would have had him finished off. Oh, I think I told you guys this had 150 alpha, right? Okay, I'm completely wrong. It's only 110 alpha, so I wouldn't have been able to finish him off even with those 2 shots, but we do have 2 Artie. The whatever they're called, the LEFH, has really good rate of fire, and as long as I'm able to keep this guy lit for our Artie, there's a good chance that he's going to be able to finish him off. The SU was actually able to finish him off, and now the situation is a 4v5. Okay, make that a 4v4. The KV2 finishes off their T-34-85. Now it's looking pretty good. We're able to completely eliminate the threat coming to this side. The Comet, I'm pretty sure, ran away at this point. And, this is the problem. The KV2 just gets greedy and pushes into their base, which is a mistake, especially since they have a bishop left. And the bishop was able to finish him off. That's why I really don't like it when heavy tanks push the AB line, because you're just so exposed in the open. And for a slow tank like the KV2 to push all the way from here all the way up to their base, it's going to take a good couple of minutes, and during that time the Artie is just going to have a field day with you. So I'm down to a 1 shot pretty much for Artie if he is able to hit me, and I'm a 2 shot for the majority of their tanks. Actually, for all of their tanks, I think they would at least need to hit me twice to finish me off. And because of that, and because of the fact that we have 2 Artie left, I'm kind of sketched out, and I don't know where this Comet is. Last I saw him, I'm pretty sure he had most of his life left, and if he suddenly jumps up on cap, trying to come after Artie, whatever, I'm just going to get absolutely massacred. So right now I'm trying to utilize my view range and just kind of sit here and hope that he pushes up and tries to cap. I realize that that's probably not going to happen. He's probably gone. It's been a long time, and so again, trying to utilize my view range for artillery, because I have 2 of them on my side, I push over into this bush and peek around this corner, hoping to get spots on anything. I feel like the T-34-85M is going to push down the A line after the KV2 was killed, and the Tog will probably appear somewhere in the middle. Sure enough, there's a T-34-85, lead him a little bit. Beautiful shot, ammo rack. I'm able to finish him off. Now we are down to 3 enemy vehicles, the Comet, the Tog, and the Bishop, and I actually haven't seen how much HP the Tog has. I mean, he was only lit for a small amount of time, so there's a good chance he probably has about half his HP left. Now, because I just killed that T-34-85M, I don't know if the Tog is going to continue to push forward just because he realizes that we're sniping. But I have binoculars, and I really got nowhere else to go. I'm not going to push forward into a Tog, and so I'm just going to sit back and spot. Hopefully the Comet doesn't come up behind me, and again, that's just a risk I'm going to have to take. But being in this position, if he does push up behind me, I can easily duck down over the front of this hill and get away quickly. So, I really wasn't expecting to light Artie here, but Bishop just kind of pops out into the open and put the first shot into his track. The Bishop actually has a lot of HP for being artillery piece, and unfortunately the third shot wasn't able to connect, but our Artie was able to finish him off. And again, I don't have Sixth Sense, so I really don't know if I got lit for that or not, but I'm going to fall back and wait for myself to get unlit and then pull back forward into the bush I was sitting in. 2,000 damage for a tier 6 tank. I would say that's a pretty good result. I pushed this bush forward. When hindsight watching that, I probably shouldn't have done that, but Tog is lit by our artillery and he finishes him off. Now the Tog is kind of behind a rock and he has almost 1,000 HP left. That's a lot of damage to take out, and I don't know if the Artie connected there or not, but I'm really just hoping that he pushes forward and kind of gets greedy. He's going to think, I have a lot more HP, I have a great DPM gun, I'm just going to be able to massacre them, no problem, and get cocky. What I'm hoping is that he does this, and my excellent view range with my binoculars is going to be able to outspot him, and I'm going to be able to finish him off before he can even spot me back. So I communicate here with the artillery that I have binoculars for him to fall back. He doesn't have to be out there exposed, and thankfully he does fall back. And he's a tier 6 Artie, so he can put a hurtin' on them if he's able to connect any of his shots. Plus stunning them will lower their view range and their rate of fire, all that. And a lowered view range vehicle is not going to be able to spot me even if I'm shooting. So now it's just a game of patience, and there we go. Mr. Tog gets lit right at the edge of my view range, and I'm able to connect the first shot, second shot, third shot. Now, this tank doesn't have the best aim time, and gun lane drive would be ideal. Now he stops to, I guess he probably just got tracked right there. But he's just blind shooting, he's frustrated, he's stunned. There's just absolutely nothing he can do. Now he's in an area that he can probably spot me if he pushed forward, but it's a little too late for him. I don't believe I'm spotted here, but really I don't know where the Comet is, and so it's just not a whole lot that I can actually do. I guess if I did suddenly start taking shots, I could run, but again, I think the Comet just hauled back. I honestly don't have any clue where the Comet is. He could be flipped somewhere. He could be AFK. You would think that being a top tier, he would have shown himself by now, but that's not the case. Now, our Artie, great player, he took it upon himself to lead the charge. He realized that I had very low HP, and that the fact that I have a much more higher probability of finishing off the Comet, he decides to take the lead in an artillery and be my meat shield, which is awesome move on his part. Not a lot of artillery players would do this, and it's a little bit boring here, so I'm going to fast forward it. Basically, we decide to try to flush him out. He's probably not on the other flank. I mean, I guess he could be, but he was last spotted on this side. I double-checked the hill just to make sure that he's not going to be sniping us from behind or that we miss him. And then we just realized there's only 2 minutes left, or I guess 3 minutes left on the game, and we better just cap. So again, we just push forward, kind of taking a wide swing just in case he's here, and then I hide behind this rock right here, this bunker, get inside this bush, hoping that he gets lit. Maybe he's on this side, but again, only 2 minutes left on the game, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No Comet, but I will take that victory any day. Now, I was almost able to get 3,000 damage in a tier 6 game, which is awesome. Kind of about the same results I had in my Achilles in the previous replay that I had uploaded. 4 kills, 500 spotting, assist damage. It's great for any tier 6 vehicle. And again, a lot of this game was just falling back and shooting at the enemy that was approaching me, and sometimes that's okay. You don't always have to be aggressive, and a lot of people do ask me, how do you play your lower tiers? Well, this is a prime example. Sit in the back lines, snipe if you can, get flanks, defend, just whatever, but just don't be way too aggressive at the beginning because you're going to get yourself killed and then get frustrated and rage quit. So anyway, guys, hopefully you found this replay entertaining. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a like down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.